Look, I want to start by thanking the millions of people across the country who voted Greens, many of whom did it for the first time, as well as all of our supporters and everyone who worked incredibly hard over the last few months and years to deliver some really amazing results for the Greens. One of the things that we are incredibly proud of is our role in keeping Peter Dutton out. You'll know that our slogan this election was keep Peter Dutton out and get Labor to act, and certainly on part one of that gets a tick. And I think this is a really significant moment. It's a significant moment for the country, but also globally. There was a real threat of that hard right Trump-style politics coming to Australia, and for people who have campaigned against Peter Dutton's style of politics for many years, including when he came here to Melbourne and said people were scared to go out because of African gangs, seeing his attacks on refugees and his attempts, certainly at the start of his campaign, to follow the Trump playbook page by page. It is a really significant moment that we have kept that Trump-style politics out of Australia, and it's something that I know gives a lot of Greens supporters and Greens voters a lot of heart that is the result. And it certainly also sets us up well now for an era of progressive change in the Parliament. We have a situation, I know people won't necessarily always be focusing their attention on the Senate vote, but it is worth a look. The Greens have achieved a record Senate vote. We're nudging 14%, based on where the count is at the moment, and we'll see where it gets to at the end. And I think that's a reflection of now the true Greens level of support in Australia. And it's a pretty remarkable achievement that means that all of our senators have been re-elected, but also in part because of that strong vote and the result we've got, the Greens are now in sole balance of power in the next Parliament. I congratulate the Prime Minister on his campaign and obviously the strong position that they've got in the government at the moment. But what it means is that with Greens in sole balance of power in the Senate at the moment, the government can't blame other individual senators for not being able to get things through. The only barrier to getting dental into Medicare now and passing it through the Parliament is Labor. The only barrier, the only obstacle to making childcare free is Labor. The only obstacle to stopping new coal and gas mines from being opened is Labor. We stand ready in the Senate to make this the most progressive Parliament that Australia has seen. And I'll hand over to Steph in a moment, our early childhood and childcare spokesperson, to talk about the opportunities that provides there. So this record high result in the Senate, which I think is now a reflection of the number of people across the country who identify with the Greens and is probably closer to the true Greens vote, is something that we are incredibly proud of. And I think as that all comes in and the new senators take their place from the middle of the year, it provides remarkable opportunities for progressive reform in this country. Now, obviously, we've noticed a difference between the Greens vote in the House and the Greens vote in the Senate. I think one of the key stories about this election has been the massive shift of votes from Liberal to Labor. I think a lot of us after post Scott Morrison, didn't expect that the Liberal vote could go even lower, but it has. And this big shift that we've seen right across the country from Liberal to Labor, I think certainly caught a lot of the commentators by surprise, and is part of the reason that you're seeing the national picture that we are. Now, for us, that plays out differently in the lower house seats, because a number of the lower house seats, of course, are now three-cornered contests, and so when there is a big shift from Labor to Liberal, from Liberal to Labor, it has flow-through consequences. Broadly, we expect that we'll have between 1 and 4 seats in the Parliament once the final votes are counted. we're feeling confident in Melbourne. We're feeling very good in seats of Ryan and in Wills, but there's going to be a lot more votes to count before we're able to make a final determination about those. And we're still in the hunt in the seat of Richmond. Richmond is a classic three-cornered contest. Our primary vote has gone up in Richmond, but obviously a lot is going to depend on who finishes where in the final count in those seats. That general shift of Liberal people going to Labor has obviously played out differently in our Queensland seats. It's meant that in the seat of Griffith now, despite our primary vote performing well, that there'll be a Labor MP elected off Liberal preferences. And obviously it's changed the order of the three-party count in the seat of Brisbane as well. And that's meant that Stephen Bates won't be returned in those seats, in that seat. And I think one of the things that you're going to see now across the country is a number of blue Labor seats where Labor MPs get elected off the back of Liberal preferences, where the Greens vote is strong, but where Labor MPs will find themselves getting elected off the back of Liberal preferences. So that for us is the broad picture, and we feel quite like going in. Obviously, we were hoping, we're disappointed that Stephen and Max will not be joining us in the next Parliament. They were terrific local members that we were campaigning very hard to have returned, and for the reasons that I've said, they won't be, and that's obviously something that's not the result that we were hoping for. The results in those other seats, yes, they're very, very close, and we would obviously prefer to be standing in front of you here right now telling you how many of those 1 to 4 seats that we returned in this Parliament, but we're going to have to wait for the final votes to be counted in those.